Somebody asking me what is it that I'm holding, what am I investing on? So I figured I'll make a video of this to make it easier. I started my journey roughly about 5+ years ago during COVID, the start of COVID, in January 2019 to be exact actually. Um, I started up with a macro investment, realizing the potential of this. After looking at how it was growing, I looked around to search for more different products that have a better return, that have lower fees. I tried different version. I've tried from starting macro investing at $5, $2, whatever spare coin that I have. I went with ComSec Pocket. Now with the ComSec Pocket, on the other hand, it requires you a big enough capital in order to absorb the cost of the fees, let's say. To make it lower the fees, you need a bigger capital. So I didn't quite like that. Then I opened up ComSec themselves. In a ComSec account, you really have to have a big account. At one stage I did. For that reason, I chose ComSec, just going by a normal share or so. Once I did that, on the other hand, I realized that the entry point for ComSec Pocket, it's a bit too high. Realistically, I would not be able to be consistent to put more fund in those accounts. So I look around somewhere that have a low enough barrier of entry, not too low and not too high, and am able to be consistent with it and achievable. And that's when I go look around for Vanguard. When I found Vanguard, I think back then the minimum entry, let's say, or the starting entry was about $500. $500 is a bit steep, but I can see myself, you know what, if I do $250 per week, times it by 2, so that means every fortnight or so, or thereabout, at least once a month or once a fortnight, I was able to buy more products. So after that, I think as of last year or the year before, somewhere around there, where it's actually dropped the entry level, let's say. The entry level now in Vanguard is roughly about $200. Now, if I can't make it $200 in 1 month, there's something wrong with me. That's $50 a week, average. So based on that, I started to dive a little bit more, realizing that, hey, this might be a potential of us to be able to retire early, or to take care of ourselves, or to be able to have a different stream of income outside of a job, let's say. So the 3 tops holding that I have found is pretty much just the index fund in Vanguard for various reasons. Now please note that this is based on my personal experience, my reasoning why I put them in there. Your result or future performance would not indicate based on past performance, let's say. Your result will be different than me. That's because I've been doing this for a long time. So the first one that I hold, I do hold a lot more, but this is sort of like my primary, let's say. This is the one that I'm actually holding quite a lot. The first code would be VAS, Vanguard Australian Share Index ETF. Reason why that is, the fees is at 0.07% per annum management fees. And one of the other reasons why I chose this ETF is because it's exposed to 300 companies listed in the ASX, Australian Stock Exchange. Now, the main top holding of this would be, as you can see, Commonwealth Bank, BHP, CSL, National Bank, Westpac Bank, and ANZ Group, ANZ Bank, Macquarie Bank, Wesfarmers, Goodman, and Woodside Energy Groups. So those are the top holdings, let's say, that I was able to snapshot as of this morning. All of this is based on the current recording when this is actually being published, which is, I record this, when is it, in January or so. The next one will be in January 2025. So it might be different by the time you're actually considering purchasing these particular codes if you choose to do that. The second one would be MSI Vanguard MSCI Index International Shares. Again, the fees is very low, excuse the plane, 0.018% per annum. The reason why I chose this is because it holds global 1,500 companies in the developed countries, excluding Australia. And that alone, just picture that, yeah. So picture on the first code that I choose is, imagine having $1 chopped 300 times to diversify your portfolio. The second one is, imagine having $1 and chopped 1,500 times, well diversified portfolio. And the holding, most of this is actually in the US. The holding of this would be Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Tesla, Alphabet, Broadcom, and JP Morgan Chase. So most all of those companies that I just mentioned, these are, I guess, the top holding, let's say. These guys are based in the US, but they do have other countries in Japan, and UK, Canada, France, and Switzerland, let's say. Yeah, a bulk of them is in the US product. The next one would be Vanguard Diversified High Growth Index Fund, or VDHG. Is that right? VDHG, yep. This is probably the highest when it comes to the fees at 0.27%. Now, this one is kind of crazy because when I read this, I'm like quite surprised there's actually a certain product out there. So this one is a product that holds roughly about 16,000 securities. So imagine your $1 getting chopped about 16,000 of them. So that is quite a lot, and very well diversified. Now, unfortunately, I have to go through every single product that they like. If I have to go name every single code, it's gonna take a long time because there's 1,600 of them. Oh, sorry, 16,000 of them. So some of the holding is Vanguard Australian Share Index Fund, International Share Index, International Share Index Fund by Hedge, International Small Cap, Global Aggregate, Emerald Market, Emerging Market, Australian Fixed Interest, Australian Share, and International Share, and Index International Share Hedge. So that's just, I guess, a certain portion of it. They've got their own version of individual indexes or individual products, and you're slicing for $1 that you invested, you're slicing it 15,000 times to well diversified product, let's say. And for me, it minimized the risk. It minimized the risk on the balance to get into zero. Yes, there are chances of everything goes down in one hit, but it still minimized that compared to individual stock. I don't like buying individual stock because of that, because the chances of that stock alone goes down very quickly. But if the whole market goes down, I've found it's okay if the whole entire market goes down, but if it's individual one goes down, it's a bit stressful. So that's sort of like the reason why I hold those items or those codes. So this is based on my performance, based on my personal opinion, let's say, based on what I'm holding, my experiment, in order for us to achieve FIRE, or in order for us to achieve $1 million nest egg. Overall, in 2025, I'm just going to go through those three over and over and over again. And the bulk of our income is actually in those three. It will be in those three as of from here on. So nothing changed. I'm just going to keep on doing those three over and over. But yeah, I think that's about it. I will see you guys on the next video. Cheers.